As we continue our study of the Wilderness Tabernacle, let's begin by reviewing what we've seen so far. We want to anchor very carefully the principle that God gives us as to His reason for establishing the Wilderness Tabernacle. It was not a place for ceremonial activities, but a place to encounter God, just as you might go to Buckingham Palace to encounter the Queen of England. By way of reminder, the purpose for showing this photo, a synagogue from Budapest, has to do with the inscription that's above the entryway, the doorway. There we find the words from Exodus 25:8. Ve'asu li mikdosh v'shachanti betocham. And they shall make a sanctuary for me, so that I may dwell among them. Here we see the overall layout of the estate, as it were. First of all, focusing on the fence and the gateway, we saw this as a commitment from God to generously give us His undivided attention and also a lavish invitation to His estate. Correspondingly, this should evoke from us a sense of the privilege and also the determination to reciprocate with our attentiveness towards God, not being distracted by interruptions. As to the basin or laver, we inferred from Middle East hospitality that this was an expression by the host to say, "May I refresh you." We see Abraham doing this. We see Jesus doing this in the upper room. And for our part, we want to be receptive to this, not too proud, like Peter, who refused initially to be washed, to let Jesus wash his feet, but humbly to accept this gift. And then also in accepting this, to acknowledge the importance of coming as clean as we can, and not presumptuously as though we can trump in any way we wish, but rather show respect for the host, to be as presentable as we can, and honor the invitation that's been extended to us. Then we come to the altar of burnt offering, the bronze altar. We left off in the last video with the first of 5 offerings or sacrifices, namely the whole burnt offering. And here we see that we are saying to God afresh, I belong to you entirely. I relinquish authority over my life to be sovereign over my life. I enthrone you as sovereign over my life. And as we do so, hear the welcome of God as He receives us. And not only does He receive us as our rightful sovereign, but also He reminds us that similarly He has committed Himself to us, never expressed more vividly than expressed at the cross. And that leads us then to the second of 5 offerings or sacrifices. Once again, we're going to Leviticus to see what are the principal offerings or sacrifices stipulated to be acted out.
Fine flour, whether raw or baked, would comprise the grain offering, which is known incidentally as a mincha. It means a gift. The Hebrew word does not contain the word for grain in it. That would be a seva or some different Hebrew word. It simply is the word for gift. It's a gift offering. As you or I would present some grain, flour, or raw, a portion of it would be burned on the bronze altar, but part of our offering would be set aside and would be made available to priests in a fashion so that they could enjoy it as food in their meals. It was stipulated that this offering must be yeast-free. No yeast is to be mixed with it. Instead, salt, oil, and incense are to be combined together with it. Like the whole burnt offering, this could be initiated by you or I as individuals at some time that we felt we wanted to send this kind of message to God. And yet, even if we did not, like the whole burnt offering, every morning and every evening, twice a day, every day without fail, The priests would be offering this to God on behalf of the nation. What did it mean? As we look into the components of it, since it's grain, it seems to be saying, and we must be candid in saying this is an inference, it seems to be saying, we as a people are acknowledging that, God, your provision of food for us is something that it comes from you, and we want to acknowledge our gratitude to you for it. Agricultural prosperity. In contrast to the next offering, which we'll be looking at, the peace or fellowship offering, it appears that the grain offering was expressing thanks to God for routine provision. Routine provision. Convert that to modern situations, and if you think of blessings that you enjoy, that we enjoy, that may be of a routine. Perhaps you're enjoying good health right now without having to worry about it. You get up in the morning and you're mobile, you have vision, you have sight, you can talk with friends. Perhaps you're employed, or you have hobbies that you enjoy. Perhaps you help those around you, whether church setting or outside of that. You're able to do that. Those are reasons for gratitude. Financial provision that comes without having to worry about it or particularly pray for God's provision. It just comes routinely, just as crops coming year by year. This reminds us of when a grain offering might be appropriate. It's the soul responding with gratitude to God for his care. When we think about the matter of gratitude, we don't have to go far in Scripture to find reminders, models in the Psalms of giving thanks to God for his care. It's a good discipline for someone walking with God today.
To recap what we've sensed in the grain offering, this is a reminder to us to engage in the fundamental and ongoing discipline of expressing gratitude to God for the things that he provides for us. Particularly, it seems to fit those things that are of an ongoing and daily sort, meeting basic needs such as food or shelter or employment, health, friendships. And hearing God acknowledge our gratitude with a sense of communicating back to us. I'm so glad I could provide this for you. I'm so glad you noticed. In your gratitude, you are showing a relationship with me that is marked by maturity.